it's Doris from All of the Books, and I am here with the second half of my June wrap-up. So I did not make it to 30 books in June, but I did make it to 15, which is fairly significant for me. I am pleased with that. And July is another great month of reading for me, so maybe I can hit 30 in July. I do have to go back to work toward the end of the month for a few days, but most of the month is gloriously free, so fingers crossed that it'll be a great reading month. But I have to say July was pretty darn awesome. I'm looking at my stack that I already talked about and this stack that I have to talk about today, and I did well. 6 nonfiction, which I'm pleased about. I'm trying to get more nonfiction into the mix. 1 YA, because I do want to keep reading those. There's definitely a 5-star read that I already reviewed because Idaho was fabulous, and I haven't really thought about it, but these ones in my hand, there might be 2 or 3 5-stars in here because the second half of the month was great for reading. So let me just jump into this. The one that I listened to on audio with my son and his friend some of the time while we were traveling to state parks, I forgot to do in my last wrap up, but that was Soul of an Octopus by Cy Montgomery, and she actually read this herself and did a fabulous job. This is a great book, at least a 4-star. It's a nonfiction that sounds like fiction. She just talks about all these observations with octopus and learning to scuba dive, and it's just very interesting, her life, and very interesting the things that she relays about the octopus. And if you have never been in a car with 2 13-year-old boys while listening to hermaphroditic nudibranchs simultaneously shed their penises, you haven't really lived. It was an amazing literary experience, I'm telling you. This was a fun book. Yes. Then I finally read, this is one that I can't believe it's taken me this long to read it, like, because I usually hit all those modern classics pretty quickly in life, but The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. And I gotta say, if you have been putting this off because you're intimidated by the classic nature of it, don't do that anymore. This was such a fast, quick, easy read. Really it was. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, it's just everything that people say it is. It's good. It's, you know, feminism. It's dystopian. It's great. I will say that I read it because I wanted to watch the miniseries. And then for some reason when I finished, I didn't want to watch the miniseries anymore. I don't know what that says about the book or about me or the miniseries. I don't know. But if you've watched it and I really still need to watch it, let me know, because I'm still open to that suggestion. Then I read The Beekeepers Apprentice by Lori R. King. This is kind of a Sherlock Holmes spinoff. So Sherlock is retired. He's an older man and he's living out in the countryside, taking care of bees and trying to, I mean, he still comes out of retirement a little bit to take some cases, but he's trying to relax more. And he's bored with that, as you can well imagine. And he meets this, I think she's about 15 when the book starts, and she becomes his apprentice. And it's pretty good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's just a mystery story. Yep. I don't read a lot of those, so I don't know. I just can't really say much about the genre, but it's good. I don't even know if I've read. It was interesting to me that she has several little short story style vignettes in the book, and I think that that's a Sherlock Holmes thing, because I don't think I've ever actually read an entire Sherlock Holmes story novel, but I have read like little short ones in the Basil readers, so I think those kind of come out of the original novels, because she followed the style of the original Holmes somewhat. And then this one is probably a 5-star, and it's white. That's why I'm getting blowout. The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls. This is a memoir, and this is fabulous. The girl and her older sister and younger brother were brought up in poverty. The parents are, I guess it's back, I don't remember if it's in the 60s or early 70s. I don't remember the time frame, but complete vagabond gypsies out west in the deserts, and just, you know, the parents are horrible, but at the same time they're not, and the author writes about them with such graciousness. I really appreciated it. And it's funny, and it's sad, and it's just really good. This is really good. Read a review. I'm not good with reviews, but if you've been at all interested, I recommend this. I enjoyed it thoroughly. And then I listened to The Inheritance of Loss. Say hi, Guy. Hi. I listened to The Inheritance of Loss on audiobook, and this was enjoyable to listen to. The audiobook, the reader did a good job with the voices. It's set in India, like close to the Himalayas, and I was confused, but I think it's dealing with the conflict between India and Tibet and the ownership of that nation. Like I said, I'm still somewhat confused. And part of it is set in the U.S. because one of the cook's son, the cook in India, his son has made it to the U.S. In search of a better life. And this book does a really good job of illustrating the various socioeconomic groups in the region. And like I said, it's entertaining. It doesn't really ever go anywhere. So yeah, there's that. I don't know. It didn't really ever go anywhere or resolve in any way that was meaningful to me. So while I enjoyed listening to it, it just, I don't know. It was what it was, I guess. And then Travels with Charlie by John Steinbeck. This was charming. It was originally published for the first time in 1962, and this is what I love about reading classics and modern classics, is you get this peek into what life was really like and what people really thought in the time that it was written. So Steinbeck, this is in his later years, and he outfits basically a truck with a camper on the back, but it's very well outfitted in the back with a bed and cooking and whatnot. And he takes his dog, Charlie, a French poodle, standard poodle, with him, and it just meanders. He starts out on the East Coast and goes up to Maine and through all the north, and then down the West Coast and through the deserts and into the South before he gets back home. And it's a commentary on the changing landscape in the U.S. with how everything's becoming so built up and modernized, and it's just an interesting glimpse of, you know, the interstate systems and encyclopedias and mobile homes and all kinds of random things, and what people really thought of them in the time, not like our, you know, informed opinions of them now, but in 1962. And the most, you know, it really captures your heart is in the end when he's in the South, and how he wasn't looking forward to traveling through the South in 1962, which, if you're not familiar, that's during the Civil Rights Movement, which was really heartbreaking in the South. And we still have repercussions to this day. But yeah, he tells that story and all these stories. He says, this is just my view. This is just what I see. And if, you know, anybody else from this country or a foreign country, if they traveled through the same route, they would see so many different things. It's just very interesting and well written. I mean, Steinbeck is a writer. He's the best. Yeah, I love this. But the thing about the South, he told that from so many different perspectives. You have to read it. I loved it. This was a fabulous book. Probably a 5-star for me too. So, that's what I got in June, and I'm already started on July. I'm very excited about it because, you know, I've been buying books, so I got to read the books. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will be back soon. Bye. What do you think, guys? Is it exciting? Oh!